The inspector checked Duck all over. "I'm sorry, sir," he said. "He has a ruptured tyre. He'll have to go to the works for a while." The Fat Controller shook his head. "And during the busy summer bustle as well. Oliver and the twins will have to work twice as hard now." The Fat Controller paused. "Unless..." And he went off to make the arrangements. The next morning, Duck was taken to the works. The twins were in the shed. They were just about to start their duties when they heard a whistle. "Douglas, did you hear that?" Donald asked. "Aye, can he miss it?" said Douglas. The two beamed as Emily backed down beside them. The Fat Controller stepped out. "Good morning, you two. Here is Emily. She is here to fill in for Duck while he is away. Please show her what to do." The twins were delighted to see another Scottish engine and set to work at once. Emily was a hit on the Little Western. People loved the sight of a new face, and children waved as she passed. The twins were fast friends with her, and she eventually made friends of Oliver. She was delighted. However, it wasn't long until Duck returned, and Emily had to go home. "Goodbye," she called. "I will miss your wee line. I hope I can return soon." As she left, she could hear the 3 engines telling Duck about her. "She worked more than 8 engines put together," said Douglas. "The stations were empty on my last runs because everyone had already been to the seaside and back," Oliver chuckled. Duck smiled. However, deep down, he felt greener than usual. This went on for days. Oliver, Donald and Douglas would constantly talk about Emily. Duck was getting fed up. He puffed into the station where he spotted a man with a photo camera on the platform. Duck smiled and waited for the click, but instead he was surprised to hear, "Excuse me, where can I find that new Emerald engine everyone's been talking about? I'd love to take some photographs." Duck had had enough. He made a plan. Duck started working harder than usual. He tried his hardest to be more useful than ever before. The others didn't notice until they started hearing rattles from Duck. It was a rainy day. Rain poured from the sky like the Little Western hadn't seen for ages. It was a humid rain and made the rails very wet. All the engines were told to use their sandboxes. Duck was still trying to be as good as Emily. "Empty boy sundown, empty boy sundown," he panted. A stretch of line passed close to the shore. Duck was so distracted, he had forgotten that this section of line was especially sandy and wet in this kind of weather. As he entered the section, he felt a pop, a sizzle, and a quack. Duck had burst his safety valve, but as he stopped, his wheels and the wet sand made this sort of quacking noise. Duck let out a huge sigh, and soon Oliver came to pull him home. But sand was still caught on Duck's rims, so the whole way home was non-stop quacking. And quacking, and quacking, and quacking. Duck was pushed back into the shed. He saw Emily giggling. She was there to take him to the works, and found the whole ordeal most amusing. "May we visit Mr. Sparked something in ye, Duck?" she said. "Either that, or Donald gave ye another egg, which hatched." The yard roared into laughter, as Duck just sulked quietly. Emily reassured him. Near your mind. I'm just built to work this way. I could never replace your wee yin. And that made Duck feel just a little bit better.